Okay, this is something I learned very fast, and if you're going 3,000,000%, 12 hours a day at school, then you're just gonna burn out. Still trying to learn how to use this mic without it looking weird. But I'm here, hopefully you can hear me okay. Hopefully that will work. Trying to improve the sound quality of my videos. Guys, what's up? If you're new around here, my name is Hannah Martin. And today we're going to be talking about 10 things I wish I knew before I started ballet school. For those of you who don't know, I actually joined ballet school when I was 18, so that's quite late for vocational school. Some people join as young as like 11 or 12. And another thing that's a bit abnormal about my situation is I went straight into the graduate year. So normally if you start when you're older, you do all of upper school, which is usually 3 years, but I went straight into the final year of that 3-year course, which was definitely a challenge. So some of the things I might mention may be different just because I was older when I joined, but here's just some things that now reflecting, I'm actually in a professional ballet company now, reflecting back on my time when I was a ballet school student, things that I might have just liked to have known for diving into vocational training. So here we go. The first thing I wish I had kind of gone in with the mindset is to be focused on your own progress. It's really easy when you're in a class and you're all working towards the same goal of getting a job to kind of look to the left and look to the right and say, oh, she's doing this, but she's doing that, and I need to do everything. I feel like when I went in, I was very much learning from everybody, which is great. You must learn from the people around you, but also be confident in your own path. That you are on a different path to every single other person in the room, and that's okay. You might not be at the same level as them at that particular moment in time. Something I'm going to talk about later is trusting the process, and that is something I had to learn very quickly, that my pathway is going to be different to every other single person in this room. It doesn't mean I'm going to be less successful, it doesn't mean I'm not going to enjoy it as much, and it doesn't mean I'm going to be any less of a dancer. I am just in a different season of my training. The second thing I wish I knew before I went in, the importance of finding people you can rely on. Obviously you have your friends, which are great. Those friendships though, for me, definitely took some months to really create, but for vocational school it is not just physically challenging, it's mentally tough as well. At Elmhurst I found some really great people who I could go and talk to when I was struggling with things. I didn't need any further help, I just needed someone to talk to, because you will have things that you need to voice. You just need to make sure you voice them to the right people. The third thing I wish I knew before I went in was get filming those audition tapes early. Especially during COVID, I wish I had started them right at the beginning of the term. This is more for like grad students, people in graduate year, but I remember the teachers mentioning like audition tapes, and I kind of was under the impression that we were just going to have them filmed by the school. We did have show reels done. I found a more effective way of filming was not filming everything in one day, but taking time to create the exercises, practice the exercises, and then film them over a number of weeks and keep updating the footage. We went into lockdown and I hadn't quite completed my audition tapes yet, which was really disappointing. So if you guys could get onto that as quickly as possible, all you can keep doing is updating them. Once you've got like your base audition tape, then you can keep on improving it. But if you have nothing there and nothing to send off to companies when that comes around, that is the hardest part. When you're in your garage and you realise, oh, I don't have a Grand Allegro to send to this company. That's when it gets a bit tough. Make sure you have everything filmed, and then you can just keep improving and updating the footage. Number 4, something that is more again for graduates, is that you have to be very proactive with applying for companies. No one does this for you. You have to find the applications, you have to fill out the applications, you have to send off the applications, you have to be on it because there's deadlines and no one's going to remind you of the deadlines. You will have to submit the footage yourself. Wish I knew where to find this information. So some great places, I'll just pop them up on the screen. Some great Instagram pages which shows you where the jobs are, where the applications are, the deadlines, websites and stuff. So this page is amazing and something I referenced a lot when I was applying for companies. Another thing I wish going into ballet school is that be open-minded, don't be stingent in, well, it has to be done this way and this is the only way it has to be done because this is the way I've always done it. Be ready to learn, because that's really why you're going there. I remember when I first got to ballet school, I was like, I have to do an hour and a half of foot exercises a day, and I believed that for a good 2-3 months into my time there, until there was no time to do an hour of feet exercises, and I had to just downsize it to 10-15 minutes. And I realized that my feet were still improving because I was doing lots and lots of ballet, and there was ways to improve my feet that didn't include me doing 3 million feet exercises a day. Just go in, be open-minded, be ready to take on the information that your teachers are going to give you. They have so much knowledge, so that's a really good tip. Okay, this is something I learned very fast. Take advantage of your weekends. Before, worked always 6 days a week, so the thought of doing 5 days a week was like a big no-no for me. I was like, I'm gonna find studios on the weekends to go in and practice. Like, if Elmhurst isn't open, I'm gonna work. It came around and I was like, whoa, you need the 2-day weekend to survive the really intense week. I don't know if this is just graduate year, but it was intense. We were sometimes working from 8:40 in the morning till 6:30 in the evening with only an hour break. So sometimes those days were really, really intense. Well, we had like a couple of shorter breaks throughout the day. I'm not complaining, like I love the intensity, but those weekends were really important. I did normally go in on a Saturday, 8 a.m. till 10 a.m. to do some like individual practice before anyone else came in on the Saturday, but that was mainly for the Fontaine. I realised the importance of those weekends to recover, restore, more mentally than even physically. Mentally, I needed time to recoup and get myself ready for another week at the office. When you're coming into ballet school, even if the first couple of weeks are quite low-key, it's gonna pep up, especially if you're in grad year, so make sure you're taking advantage and actually resting on the weekends. I found I needed at least one day, whether it was the Saturday or the Sunday, just to completely lie in bed, talk to my family on FaceTime. That was always really important. So make sure you take advantage of any days off you get. I would have loved to have known before I went is the fact that different classes have different intensities. You're talking to a girl who likes to just go full out all the time. Before I went, I thought that every single class has to be the same amount of intensity. If it's not, then I'm not working hard enough. But as I realized, different classes are gonna have different intensities, and if you're going 3,000,000% 12 hours a day at school, then you're just gonna burn out. Something I had to learn very quickly is which classes to pace yourself and which classes to really push yourself. If you were expecting the same intensity in every single class and you have sometimes 8 classes that day, you're not gonna make it to the end. One thing I wish I knew was how to take care of my feet better before I started, because we had some issues with rotten toes, blisters. I don't think I'd ever really used second skin on my feet until I got there. If you're going to ballet school, all I can say is there's no better investment than this thing right here, okay? This tub of blue gel, trust me, it's gonna save your life. Also get the Hypafix plasters, that's what it is. They will be a saving grace. I will link them down below. If you don't know what I mean now, you will do. So you just wait for that moment. More for people who are doing point work. I remember at school, I would just hammer my feet and wouldn't sometimes take care of them, and it led to consequences. I kept dancing on this, I don't know what it was, but it went around the school that Hannah Martin had a rotten toe, and trust me, it was not fun. I put point shoes on, felt like crying just putting them on. It wasn't even going on point or anything. Taking care of your feet, basic hygiene things for your feet, you need them every day. Yeah, you don't want to miss out on rehearsals because you've got rotten toes. I mentioned this a little bit early in the video. I wish I knew what the phrase trust the process meant. Things that I was struggling with at the beginning of the year that I thought I was never going to get. By the end of the year, I had got them, and it really was just the day in, day out consistent practice. Originally, the mindset I came in when I first got there was that I've just got to hammer this and I can get it in 2 weeks. And the reality is things like turnout, things like your feet, things like point work, they can't come in just a couple of weeks, because if you hammer them, you're just going to get injured and overuse injuries. The thought of just every day working a little bit on it over a long period of time rather than hammering it for 2 weeks and then getting hurt and then actually throwing yourself back was something I had to learn. So trusting the process, and even if things look a little bit dim and dark at the beginning, there's always a silver lining, and things can change overnight. Really, they can. Like, I was in a very difficult spot kind of mid-grad year, and then by the end things had completely turned around for me. So just keep that in mind if you're going through any tough moments. The process, if you're consistently just putting the hours in, quietly working away, it's all gonna pay off. The final thing, something I really wish I had gone in with the mindset. Sometimes at ballet school you can measure your worth as a dancer and as a person by how much attention you might get from teachers, because they're obviously teaching a big class. You're not always going to get corrections all the time. The focus is not always going to be on you because everyone's trying to learn in this environment. Like, I thought, man, if I'm not like getting constant corrections from the teacher and getting constant feedback, then I'm not going to progress. You shouldn't base your worth as a dancer on how much feedback you get from a teacher. You go into a class and I'm like, I want to do this so I can impress her, but actually you need to go there to improve yourself. You're doing this for you, you're not doing this for your teachers. So guys, that is the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed. If you can relate to any of these, or if you have anything to add, then please comment it down below. Again, I want to stress this is just my experience. This is not the experience of anyone else. Just a few things that I learned in my time at ballet school, which wasn't that long, please. A lot of you might have been there longer, so you can add, chirp in. Let's have a little chat in the comments down below. If you did enjoy this, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Turn on the post notifications so you don't miss a single video. I'll see you very soon in my next video. Remember, dream big and make it happen.